That was the first line that snapped something in me. She said it while rinsing out her coffee mug, not even looking up, like it was nothing, like her co-worker mocking me behind my back was normal. I remember staring at her, wondering why the hell another man was discussing my naivety with my wife in the first place, and why she felt comfortable enough to repeat it to me with a half smile. I didn't ask questions. Not then. I just felt something cold slide into my stomach and settle there. The truth is, I trusted her too much. We'd been married 7 years. She'd seen me through job changes, family drama, the dark months after my dad died. I always assumed we were one of the steady couples, not perfect, but solid. So when she started talking about her work buddy Mark, this funny, sarcastic guy who just gets her, I push away the discomfort. I told myself insecurity was uglier than denial. But after that comment, I started paying attention, and the signs showed up fast. Late-night pings on her phone. A sudden obsession with going into the office instead of working from home. A new perfume she only wore on weekdays. The way she angled her screen away when she texted. I told myself it was nothing, that I was overthinking, that she loved me. But on Friday night, everything fell apart. She'd fallen asleep on the couch, her phone still in her hand. The screen lit up as I lifted it from her fingers. Normally, I never touched her phone. I always believed that if you needed to snoop, the relationship was already broken. But that cold weight in my stomach had grown all week, and by then it felt like a boulder. The message on the screen was from Mark. A photo came through first, my wife's bare shoulder, unmistakable even in the dim light, his hand resting on her skin. Then the text. Can't stop thinking about Monday. Poor naive husband has no clue. My throat closed. I didn't breathe for a full 5 seconds. I didn't wake her. I didn't yell. I didn't smash anything. I just sat there, holding her phone, feeling every memory of our marriage collapse like a building with its supports ripped out. I locked the phone and placed it on the table, where she'd find it in the morning. Then I walked quietly to the bedroom, sat on the floor with my back against the bed frame, and stayed there until the sun came up, numb and hollow. By Saturday morning, I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't angry. I felt clear, like everything had snapped into its proper place. She stumbled into the bedroom around 9 a.m., still groggy. "Hey," she said, rubbing her eyes. "Why aren't you making coffee?" "I saw the messages," I said. Her entire face changed. First confusion, then panic, then the practiced neutrality of someone trying to minimize damage. "What messages?" she asked softly. "Don't," I said. I saw the picture. Silence. Long, heavy. Ugly. She finally whispered. It was a mistake. I almost laughed. A mistake that lasted how long? She didn't answer. And that was my answer. I didn't scream. I didn't throw her out. I didn't demand explanations. I simply told her I needed space for the weekend and asked her to stay with her sister. She grabbed a bag and left without arguing. Maybe she expected me to cool off. Maybe she thought she could explain it away by Monday. But by then I had a plan forming. Not revenge for revenge's sake. Something more honest. Something that made her face what she'd done without me lowering myself to her level. I spent the weekend gathering things quietly. Phone records. Screenshots. A printout of the explicit messages she thought she had deleted. All of it lined up neatly in a folder labeled Monday. Then I wrote an email to HR at her company. Calm. Professional. Concern about inappropriate relationship between married employees in a supervisory environment. Mark was above her in the hierarchy. She'd once mentioned he approved her project budgets. That detail settled the matter. I didn't embellish anything. I just attached the evidence. Finally, I placed the divorce papers I had filled out and signed on the kitchen counter. And then I waited. Monday morning she came home early, face pale, eyes red. "You reported us," she said quietly. "You mocked me." I replied, "Both of you." "He's suspended," she whispered, "and they're investigating me. I might lose my job." I nodded, not triumphant, not cruel, just done. "You made your choices." I said, "This is the fallout." She sank into a chair like her legs gave out. I swear I didn't mean for her to go that far. It was emotional at first. I just liked the attention. You were so distant after your dad died. I held up a hand. Don't rewrite this into my failure. She cried then, not the delicate movie kind, loud, messy sobs that filled the room. But I felt nothing. Not hate, not satisfaction. Just a quiet sense of stepping out of a burning building and realizing I didn't have to run anymore. That night, I told her I wanted a divorce. She didn't argue. Maybe she knew she'd already used every excuse she had. What happens now? She whispered. You heal, I said. I heal. Separately. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. As she packed another bag, the house felt strangely peaceful. Not empty. Not sad. Just honest for the first time in months. It's been 3 weeks since then. Mark lost his job. My soon-to-be ex-wife is on unpaid leave while HR decides her future. I've moved into a small apartment with creaky floors and terrible parking, but at least the air feels clean. Sometimes I replay everything in my head. The signs I ignored. The jokes she made at my expense. The way she let another man turn me into a punchline. And I realized the worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was how easily she dismissed me while doing it. But here's the surprising thing. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm relieved. Some endings feel like a collapse, but this one feels like finally stepping into the truth after living in someone else's lie. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not the naive husband. I'm just a man who walked away when the truth finally showed itself.